What's up YouTube? Capital G here. Got a couple of quick duels for you guys to check out. The first one is going to be featuring a deck that it is definitely underappreciated. Not a lot of people know much about Super Quantums, despite the fact that they did just get a bunch of supports in Dark Neostorm. I kind of feel like they're maybe a poor man's Madolche. Madolche are kind of getting a lot of the, I guess, rogue shine right now because, you know, it's kind of a deck that has like a one card OTK, but Super Quantums can pop off, not just because of their support in Dark Neostorm, but also they can use the infinite track cards. I personally think that you should be playing those second builds of Super Quantums if you're going to play. I think you got to go second because Super Quantums, even though they have the white layer, which is an effect veiler, that's not enough to beat like meta decks like Salamangreats and Sky Striker. Like, they'll just push through that shit. I think you're just better off going second. And his opponent, sadly, is going to have one of the weakest turn ones I've seen in years. I mean, it was this is borderline. I'm not trying to be mean, but this was borderline pathetic, man. Usually when I see these Cyberstock decks, they kind of go for these scuffed extra links that are not nearly as good as some of the ones we remember from the past. Not even as good as like the current Spiral ones, but this is basically it. He just has like Clock Spartai and then this Chimera, and that's like kind of it. Neither one of these monsters really do anything. Also, I think he probably should have set the Twin Twister. You know you don't know what you're playing against, right? And obviously Twin Twister, not very strong against like Salamangreats or maybe even it's okay against Orcus, but it can be useful against any deck that plays field spells, any deck that plays floodgates. If you're playing against mine or something, that could have been kind of good. And you know, it's kind of sad because if he would have had it on field, this Brilliant Fusion play would have never happened. He would have been able to stop the Brilliant Fusion the second that it was activated, so at least there would have been something. But he's able to go for Aromatherapy Jasmine, open up those extra monster zones, and you know, this card, finally we do have it in the TCG, which is nice. An excellent monster to go into, and yeah, he's just going to be able to go straight into the Super Quantum Link monster. He has the white layer on field. He's going to be able to drop a lot of boss monsters in during this turn, and he would have been in an even better position if his opponent would have actually had some more cards on the field. Like if he would have had more back row, he could have potentially popped it with the Grand Pulse, but you know, it's not applicable right here. He's going to pop his opponent's monster. It is going to float. Goes for the Mega Collapse. That's going to probably summon back one of his XC monsters. Let's see if he actually decides to go ahead and do that. Nope, looks like he's not actually activating the effect. That could have been something that he's going for. He's going to go for the white layer, and then, oh, I guess he just wants to leave his monsters, or he wants to leave his extra monster zone open so that he can summon the white layer or the Super Quantum, the white, essentially the white XC, the one that is effect veiler. But then obviously he's dropping Great Magnus as well, and being able to drop all of this in one turn. Granted, it's through no opposition. This is what I mean when I say Super Quantums actually have some good plays. You know, again, I think most people are looking at like Madolche and they're like, yeah, that cap, this is really awesome, but Madolche can kind of do it for one card. That's why the deck is not seeing a lot of play. But I do think this is one of the decks where, you know, people are very unfamiliar with the plays and the monsters, despite the cards in the new set. So, you know, that is obviously an advantage that you'll get. Second duel is going to be Dino Thunder Dragons facing off against Paleo. Not exactly a great matchup, especially considering that Dino Thunder Dragons I mean, they're still kind of on old guard Thunder Dragons, which is, you know, summon as many Colossus as possible. They're not focused on the guard dragon plays, which, you know, to me have raised the ceiling of Thunder Dragons exponentially. Postcards like Fairy Tale Snow getting hits. So you can see he's even playing kind of the, I hate to call it old school, but the Thunder Dragon Titan, which, I mean, it's fine, but, you know, you get these big boss monsters on field, but a deck like Paleozoic does not care. Some Paleozoic builds do run battle traps, and I mean, if he has a Storming Mirror Force, your entire board is just rest and pepperonis. It's gone. Everything is done. So Solemn Warning, not exactly the greatest card to draw into that board, but he has that Torrential Tribute. Man, I remember when Torrential Tribute was at 2 during Zexal. That was such a fun time. Doesn't even think about playing around it. You realize if this guy just goes battle phase, he might actually just win the duel. Seriously, if he doesn't get greedy and go for the Oviraptor, he might just actually win the freaking duel. But I mean, I guess he just gets greedy. Granted, I guess this guy could have potentially used Dinomyscus and then activated anti-spell to summon Dinomyscus and then Torrential there, but I mean, he didn't have to do all of that because his opponent walked straight into Torrential, and since it's not a pure Thunder Dragon build, he doesn't have enough Thunder Dragons in his graveyard to protect his Thunder Dragon monsters. Anyways, the Titan gets hit with the copy of Dynamiscus, and then this jerk just rage quits. Seriously. I mean, the duel's not even over, and my man just gonna rage quit. Like, you don't even know if you were gonna lose the duel at this point. Like, good grief. Talk about being a bad sport. But anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed that duel. If you did, give the video a thumbs up. Thank you guys for watching. As always, subscribe if you have not already, and turn on that notification bell for daily videos.